Welcome back. The war may be over, but the country and its people are far from reconciled. Reconciliation requires sensitivity, tolerance, communication and understanding, all areas that need a lot of work if Sri Lanka's communities are truly to be at peace with one another. I spoke with Dr. Nesiah to find out his thoughts on the subject of meaningful national reconciliation. Dr. Nesiah, thanks for joining me on the program. National reconciliation is a serious challenge that lies ahead of us as a country today. Now, the war has been over almost a year now. How much progress do you think we have made in terms of reconciliation from then up till now?
Not as much as could have been. It was always my view, and I had expressed in public, that the best end to, firstly, there should never be any war. No war is necessary. And secondly, even if you do get engaged in war, the best end to that war is through negotiations, not through bloodshed. And in any war, the final phase is usually the bloodiest, and that I think should not have been done. But even after the war, I think a lot could have been done. Which has not been done because the people who represent the victims, and most of the victims are Tamils from the north and east, have not been represented in the planning.
What do you mean planning? What could have been done? Where did we go wrong?
Well, in everything, what are the priorities? Should we do this road or that road or this hospital or that school? What about political negotiations to solve the political problems? There are 100 other questions. What should be the priorities in resettlement? What are the areas to be? All these decisions were taken without consulting the victims, and that is, I think, a fundamental flaw.
So many times we've heard this mention of a national reconciliation policy. I just wanted to ask you, what exactly does that mean? What does it involve?
Now, if you take the voting pattern at the presidential election, the Sinhalese majority everywhere had voted in one way. Wherever the minority parties, minority communities, the Sri Lankan Tamils, the Indian Tamils and the Muslims were in a majority, the voting had gone another way. That's bad. It could have been avoided if there was some reconciliation process ongoing, and if the leadership were talking to each other all the time. It should have happened even before the war was ended. Certainly, immediately after the war was ended, I would have expected within the same week an invitation should have gone out, come, let us work towards reconciliation. It has still not gone. Okay. Now almost a year has gone and it has not gone out yet.
Okay, but apart from the leadership, what can we as communities do to help this process?
Well, the media can help. I think the political leadership and the media need to come in. Otherwise, the people will be misled into thinking that there is nothing wrong. They should be educated that there is a major problem, and these are the ways in which the problem can be resolved. And people who visit the north and east can be briefed on what to expect and how to conduct themselves, and in turn the people at that end could also be briefed as to why people are coming, and many of them have very legitimate reasons to go. All of them have legitimate reasons because this is their country, this is everyone's country. A lot of them go on pilgrimages, which is very legitimate. Or even sightseeing. Even sightseeing is okay because You haven't seen parts of the country for 20 years and you will want to see it. So that's fine. So I think it's good that people are going, and it will bring some economic gains to the local population, even though there may be immediate problems like high prices and high rentals for property.
The elections are now over, and a government has been established for the next 6 years at least that will take the country forward. For my final question, I'd like to ask you, what do you want to see from them primarily in terms of reconciliation?
Yeah, well, the elections are coinciding very closely with Easter, which is the Christian festival for new life and reconciliation. Also with the Sinhalese and Tamil New Year, which is also, in fact, all three are really derived from the old spring festival. So the theme is renewal and new life. So that should be used, and the religious leaders can play a major part, political and religious leaders. So they should get together and play a part. And this is one country in which the religious leaders get on fairly well together. It's not so in many countries, even in our neighboring countries it's not so. Here the highest leadership, Buddhist, Hindu, Christian and Muslim, they get along well with each other, and people have no basic hostility to other faiths. If you go to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, it's not the case. Malaysia, that's not the case. So we are lucky, and our people are more tolerant. But that should be used by the political leadership, which has not been the case, I'm saying.